Hi everyone, this is Ocean Spirit Tarot. Tonight I'm going to do a quick read for the collective. Let's see what's going on, because today I have seen 777 twice, which is all to do with a mass alignment, spiritual awakening, people starting to trust their intuition. I've been picking up a lot lately, people second guessing themselves, whether they've made the right decision, whether they're aligned, and that goes as well for the masculine. So let's see what we get. Got the 8 of Wands straight up. Wow, cards are wanting to talk. And I definitely feel, look, 6 of Cups, that nostalgia feeling, looking back over memories, reminiscing, a lot of dreams. And I've felt that in the energy for the last couple of weeks. There's the 8 of Wands. Communication. Is it going to be? Or is it just going to be stuck communication? Got the Ace of Swords. Speaking that truth. With the Empress. That's the collective is stepped up into that frequency, I feel like, at the moment. And where you're receiving instead of chasing. And I feel like that's massive at the moment. Is kind of a lot of the collective, I feel like, would have felt the shift and felt the difference within the energy, and something was coming and not really realizing what it was. And as much as you're kind of waiting, you're bracing for what it is. Yeah, I feel like they went sort of still quiet for the past week or so, and then all of a sudden the new alignment has just settled in, because I even woke up this morning with a big surprise. Something that I wasn't expecting, that was like a happy surprise. And I was like, wow, like finally things are moving. And I feel like that's going to start happening for a lot of people, and a lot of people within the collective, because we've done a lot of work and we've lined ourselves up. Got the Ace of Wands. That's that passionate new beginning. The Knight of Pentacles. Oh, that with the Empress is passionate, new beginning, something stable, steady, moving forward. Something that you've worked on, been working on for a while, could have been for the past 6 months, past year, longer, that is starting to slowly come through. You're starting to slowly see the rewards for the hard work that you've put in. Something could be even business, like a business that you set up, and you put so much work, so much heart and soul into it, and you just feel like a battle, but it's finally starting to move, and you weren't expecting it. You maybe had forgotten about it, but that's that Ace of Swords, is clarity and starting to see the work that you've put in, and starting to acknowledge that, wow, like I am moving, like not feeling stuck anymore, not feeling as though you are repeating old cycles. And that's the 7-7 as well. Like, it's all about trusting your intuition and moving forward with your intuition and not doubting it, and it being stronger than what the fear is. I like this. But even with your 6 of Cups, it's all about, things from the past coming up and looking at it, and them not falling back on old ways, releasing that feeling, that emotion, the guilt, even fear. But it's all about looking at it and releasing it, and not falling back into that pattern, or not getting it stuck in the what ifs. Just recognizing it and moving forward, bringing it in as a lesson and something that you've learned. Because if you don't learn, if you don't go through things, you don't really learn. You don't really grow as a person. And sometimes, as hard as what the things are that we go through, sometimes they can be really traumatic too. But when you learn to look at them and sort of look at them from all angles, and as hard as that can be sometimes, it can make you really grow as a person and to take that lesson on board for later on. Nine of Cups with the Three of Wands. Beautiful. That's you staying sovereign within your energy. People can see it. People are, you know, see that magnetic side to you, see the beauty, see how hard that you work. But you're looking out, you're looking to newer things, but that also can be that abundance starting to flow on through. Something that you've been waiting for. Like, when's my turn? When's it going to happen for me? And it's starting to flow on through. It's definitely gave you anxiety at night, but I feel like the anxiety within this has a lot to do with that masculine energy that is around a lot of the collective, the old masculine energy, and they're really feeling the difference within you and within your energy. And it hasn't, when I see in 777, it's not just to do with the collective. It's the males that are connected as well. And it's everyone being cracked open emotionally and really seeing everything for what it really is. And the masculines, I feel like, are having the hardest time about it. And when that sits underneath the Empress, they can feel that Empress energy. They can see all eyes are on you. They can see that you're moving up and you're moving into different places. You're doing really well for yourself, and they can see it, and this is where it sits them. Stuck up in their head. I think that they realise now that you're too good for them. And not just too good for them, but I just think that they realise that you're out of their league now. You got the Chariot coming through, and I feel like that's abundance. That's new things coming through, and it's coming in fast. This new timeline jump is you're gonna start to see it really quick. Abundance. Anything that you've put that hard work into, especially over the last few years, you'll start to see it all start to flow through, because you're not in that energy anymore of chasing things and really holding on to things. You learn to flow with the energy, and whatever's meant to be is meant to be. And if it's not, you let go of it. You're flowing a lot smoother, which is going to start bringing things through a lot faster. But you got the Two of Swords. You're kind of trying to hold on a little bit to the old, and there's probably that little bit of fear, that little bit of sort of anxiety of what's next kind of thing, and not really trusting to move into that new timeline. Go for it. Trust me, anything from the past that most people have been through is shit anyway. You don't want to hold on to it. Oh, Wheel of Fortune. Wheel turned in your favor. Stuff that you've manifested. Things that you've worked hard for. They're manifestations that you've put out there to the universe. It's starting to move on through. It's coming through. And it's coming through fast, especially with the Chariot. That's that balance within the energy. And just not holding on. Look, fiery. Fiery, passionate, magnetic, things that are going to come to you. You just have to sit there and accept it. You don't need to do anything anymore. You've put in all that hard work. And you got Justice. That's karmic cycles ending, clearing out. Anything from the past that doesn't belong in your life anymore. Justice is here to get rid of it. It's all coming to an end. People that couldn't open up emotionally, people that weren't there, people that wanted to breadcrumb, jobs and situations that weren't stable, things that, you know, you put your heart and soul into and you got nothing back. Karmic cycles, lessons that you had to learn. And now they're starting to clear out. You've closed the cycle. And the King of Truth. King of Swords. He's there to speak the truth. He's there to... I really feel like the King of Truth is more so within you. You're not accepting anything that you don't deserve anymore. You're not scared to speak how you feel. You don't want anything coming into your life anymore that disrupts. And there's where the King of Swords comes from. You're not looking for this anymore. You're not looking to be left out in the cold anymore. To put all your hard work into something and not reap that recognition for what you do. You're not ready to put that emotion into somebody and fill their cup and not get anything back. You've had your walls up. You've definitely kept your walls up and kept them boundaries up. But boundaries are good. I think a lot of us within the collective had to learn boundaries. I think a lot of us were too easy to let people in and too easy to forgive. And I think a lot of them, especially this, like a lot of the masculines from the past, I think they had to learn them boundaries. I think they've seen them. And that's what's really cracked them open emotionally now. Boundaries are good. That's for sure. We got Page of Wands. You're stepping off into a new direction, new path, new life. And you're happy. You've got that kid-like energy about you. You're excited for the new. It has kept you up in your head a little bit, you know, a little bit worried, a little bit of anxiety sort of thing. But that has been within the energy as well. That's that clearing of that residue of the old timeline, of that fight and always having to fight for things. And that has been clearing out, which always causes that little bit of anxiety sort of thing around it as that residue goes. But you got the Ten of Swords, which finishes. Done and dusted. What else? Yeah, look, Two of Wands. Looking out. You're looking out for a new adventure. The sun is there, lighten up your path, and it's a massive yes card within the deck, but within the energy as well, that you're on the right path. You're pure within your intentions and in everything that you do. And the sun's there to light up your path in where you're going. I love that. Let's see. The masculine's starting to feel they want to rush in. They want to rush in and say something quick, fast. They're not really thinking too much. I think they're so caught up in their head because they can feel how good you're going, how well you're going. They can see you're moving on and they're not going to have their chance again. I think they really feel it. They're wanting to sort of try to catch up socially. They're trying to sort of find some kind of way back in, a small message, something just to sort of, but I feel like as though it's more of a social side of things. They're just more of a playful energy. They're trying to bring something back. They're trying to find a way to come back into your life. But where you're going and the level that you're on, they have no place. They've not... You see, look, karma, judgment. They're not at the same sort of emotionally and same level as what you're on. You know what you want out of life. You know where you're going. You've got dreams and that's what you're going for. I feel like the masculine from the past held back so much. They were so busy in... I always feel it's like a high school kind of energy, you know, just running with friends, not really have dreams or any expectations of life, just kind of stuck and not really going anywhere. And that's not what you're looking for. And you see, they can try all they want to come back, but I don't think that they're going to be able to. I don't think the universe will let them. I think the universe will block them because judgment, because they held back. they had their chance, and I feel like they had their chance multiple times to try and level up and look at their, look at their karma, look at their things that they need to look at in life to grow as a person and to express that love. I feel like that was the biggest lesson that the masculines had to learn to express that love and stop running from it, stop avoiding. And I don't think they did, because look, they're going to come in with a pentacle. It's not what you're looking for. I think you've been through enough with this person that coming through with something small, an offer, and especially a pentacle, something superficial, is not what you want. If they need to come through with anything, they need to do the work on themselves and show the proper love and emotion that you deserve, especially with how strong of a connection this was. Look, Four of Swords. They just and about everything. Look, then the Knight of Wands, just going to be passionate, come through quick, fast, not really think about things before they come through. They do have a lot of love, but you can't deny that. And there was a lot of love within this connection. But look, ending heartbreak. Because I really feel like at the end of the day, they're not going to be able to express the love that they really have. They feel this connection as much as what you did, but they were avoidant, and all they did was run from it because they couldn't handle the strength of it. And I don't think they realize that they've got to actually come through with love and show that love and be vulnerable. And I just don't think they've done enough work to be able to. And that Four of Swords just shows that I just don't think, and to have the Wands as well, I just don't think it's going to end in heartbreak. I think they already realize that you've grown as a person, but I think not only they've realized that and it intimidates them, but I think you see it. I think you can feel it. You don't feel the same about this person as what you used to. I think you had a lot of love for this person and unconditional love, and that you would have done anything for him. You would have always stuck by him. And within the two of you would have had a really good life. Like, the connection was really strong. But I just don't think this person could ever really be emotionally grown up enough to have a connection like it unless they really put the work in. And I feel as though for a lot of people, you had been separated for a long time, like years, and they come back, and I think you seen it yourself that they hadn't changed. Nothing had changed in their life. They hadn't put any work in. As much as they would have missed you, and they probably said that, I just don't think that they put the work in, and they play the same games when they come back because they feel the strength of the connection again when they did come back after so long, and they weren't expecting to. And I think that it put them straight back to square one again and made them run and avoid it, which I just think that then you just weren't interested anymore. I think that was done and dusted. I think you're happy to look back at the memories and to have that nostalgia come through. And because everyone comes into our life for a purpose. And it's sometimes as hard as what it is and that heartbreak that we do get, and as much as it can ruin us at the time, and sometimes that's what we need to see that that's what we're not going to accept, and to make us grow as a person. But not just grow as a person. I think a lot of the collective had someone come in, a partner that really, really broke them. And that's what sent a lot of people on their spiritual awakening. And to learn about yourself and why you accept people like that into your life. You can love someone as much as you want, but if they can't give that back and they can't grow with you, then there's no use. It's time to move on. And I think that's what you realize now. You've grown. You're not the same person as what you were when you guys were in this connection. And as much as you put in, and as much as you done everything you could for this person, and for them to see that they could trust you and that they could give that love and that you weren't going to hurt them, I just don't think it was enough. And you always ended up in heartbreak. But now I think it's the other way around. I think they're finally seeing the value, and they're finally seeing what they should have done. And I think that's part as well of the masculine awakening. They're being cracked open. Their heart chakra is anyway, and they're really starting to feel it. And they're starting to, I think, put the work in now themselves. And if they put enough work in and they can catch up in time, then just because the karmic cycle's over and it's, you know, you've moved into a new timeline doesn't mean that if they don't put the work in that something could start again. But if not, you've got better things coming, so much abundance, so much good things. But I think as well, there's a new man coming through. I've been feeling that for the last few weeks. There's an emperor and he's not far away. And I feel like the two are going to come in, they're going to collide, and you're going to have a choice to make. But just see how much you've grown and put that into, look at it and see. Because I think this person, when they come back, actually made you really realize how much you have grown and how much you've really put the work into yourself. And that's the biggest achievement that you could do. Anyways, I'm going to leave that there for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.